Hey everyone. Every famous celebrity that is well known has an incredible house or mansion they own, apart from the money they make. Most of them are nice, but there are levels to how extravagant and big they are, to the point that they spend so much money on making it that even a fraction of the cost is more than the net worth of other celebrities. Of course, it doesn't matter, because when you have so much money that you can practically buy anything, you feel compelled to buy one huge mansion for everything you want. People like Drake are on that kind of level, with a very lavish lifestyle, and I had no idea what kind of mansion he lived in. Of course, I knew he would have a huge place full of the stuff he likes, but I was blown away at how much he had packed into the mansion that he owns, to the point that I have to admit, it would be pretty cool to walk around there. There were some parts I couldn't help but admit that were kind of useless, like a massive NBA basketball court in there, where when it was finished, it looked pristine and glossy. But considering that most artists are always going to the places, I don't really think Drake spends most of his time in that mansion, or even use the court. But that is only a small fraction of the stuff that he owns in his insane mansion.
Drake's mansion is so unbelievable that some of its features can only be described as awful.
Every bathroom in this house, when you walk up to the toilet, it opens and starts playing Tupac Hit 'Em.
Made funnier by the insane legal battle Drake went through just to have it built.
The brick wall is an eyesore to my clients in the neighborhood.
He first purchased the property for $6.7 million in September 2015, at which point it simply looked like this. A 19...
Damn, I have to respect him. If he was able to turn that like crack den of a place, is it even a house? It looks more like a community center with the windows and everything. I want to see how he transforms it.
Bungalow with a 3-car garage and swimming pool, although it was obvious that Drake was focused on a different part of the property.
He never cared about like buying a big house. He was just like, I care about buying land.
Drake bought the house for its land and location, being a 2-acre lot amongst other mansions in the Toronto neighborhood of Bridle Path. The suburb ranked as the richest area in all of Canada, with its residents having an average net worth of $22 million and an average home value of $5.1 million. YouTube videos driving through the area show some of the craziest houses you might ever witness, and as a result, it's no surprise that Drake decided to build there. On the 18th of May 2016, Drake's barely decipherable 3-story mansion plans were first released to the public, which accompanied...
It didn't seem that bad. When he said decipherable, I thought he meant like he drew it on paper with crayons, but I mean, I'm not an architecture, I'm sure there's a lot of flaws with these plans, but yeah, it looks all legit. I can't see how you'd show you built this, but I'm sure there will be parts that will show up later that made it impossible to build.
The front of the residence, leading to annoying petty problems before construction had even started. Drake quickly discovered that the house he'd bought to demolish had been designed by a world-famous architect, and as a result he'd be scolded by the media for wrecking a piece of history. In one article titled "Drake, Take One Dance with That Bridle Path Home Before Tearing It Down," the writer stated, "I'm pretty angry with you for considering it a teardown," while the demolition notice had comments such as, "Maybe a minor variance in zoning, but one more sad step in Toronto's blind disinterest in heritage." Although
what was the building? Because it didn't look that like grand. It looked like a really basic bungalow.
So freaking huge it goes beyond what's permitted there. For example, the mansion's height of 17 meters was well beyond the 11 meters permitted by council, while his 34-meter wide driveway was 3.5 times larger than the allowed width of 9 meters. But the aspect that received the most backlash was the height of Drake's new fences.
Fences more than twice as high as would otherwise be allowed, in part due to security concerns on his property.
It doesn't look that big. I mean, someone as popular as Drake, they need like big ass fences to stop like rabid fanboys coming in and jumping over it. And with someone that big, you probably need watchtowers with people fucking like having guns, shooting 24/7, staying up there to make sure it's safe. But so far, it doesn't seem all that crazy. Apart from like the legal stuff of it being like way bigger than what's permitted, it doesn't seem that insane. I mean, with someone this rich, they probably have like a dream house they have in mind ever since like before they got big, and they don't give a shit about like what they're allowed to do. They just want to make sure it's literally picture perfect to what they imagine in their head.
He knows where he sleeps, where he eats, and that has really freaked him out.
As mentioned, Drake's extra high fences were proposed for security. However, his neighbors made an effort to push back immediately. quickly.
The brick wall is an eyesore to my clients in the neighborhood, as it could be observed from almost every single room of my client's residence.
Despite this, counsellors sided with Drake after learning his
You already live in a mansion. Why are you crying about someone else's fence who's more popular than you?
proved. Roughly 2 months later, Drake's builder and architect Ferris Rafforli posted this image to his Instagram with the title, "Let's Get Started." This was followed by another post only 8 days later, showing that the block had been completely flattened, in the process creating a brand new problem. Drake's lovely neighbors had launched another complaint against him, claiming that trees were being cut down on the property before they'd received permission to do so. As a result, Drake was now facing a fine of up to $100,000 for every tree destroyed.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot. It's probably nothing compared to like how much money he makes, but still quite a
There have
bit.
been no violations. There have been no large trees cut down. I'm very glad that Drake and the company he has hired is obeying the law. Roughly 1 month later, an archived satellite view of the property showed that construction was back underway, which accompanied a new post on Ferris's Instagram hinting at just how crazy the mansion was going to be. "This is how we build an official NBA indoor basketball court," showing an excavation in process, which was followed by another post 1 month later showing the speed at which the house was being built. In the process, Drake came by to check out the property, which had begun framing only 4 months later, a stage which was fully completed within a matter of weeks, at which point the builder...
But what kind of color is that excavator or whatever it's called? What's it bright green? Don't they normally make it yellow so it doesn't like burn your eyes?
This number had since been doubled to 45,000 square feet, which included a 3,200 square foot master bedroom suite. For context, the size of an average 3-bedroom home is usually around 1,600 square feet, meaning
Gosh,
Drake's...
I want to look at this plan so far. So master bedroom, that makes sense, of course. Toilet, master bathroom, steam shower, dressing room, closet 1, closet 2. Right, so this first part at the top makes sense. But why do you have to go through the toilet, to go to the bathroom, and then through the closet? Also, if you picked out your perfect outfit for the day, don't you have to like walk back through the steam shower and then go outside? We'll probably get a bit soaked from all the steam that you've built up. That makes sense. Also, it blows my mind how this is just like one simple. This is probably like 1/16th of the house, but it's already way bigger than the average house in America.
To be the same size as 2 fully built middle-class homes. Although Drake showed no remorse for his extravagance, stating, "Because I was building it in my hometown, I wanted the structure to stand firm for 100 years. I wanted it to have a
100
monumental
years?
scale and feel. It'll be..."
Most people buy multiple houses. They never really have one set place in mind.
Luxury. That message is delivered through the size of the rooms. I wanted to make sure people can see the work I put in over the years, reflected from every vantage point. As construction continued, Ferris and Drake once again posed at the front of the property, although this, in combination with countless media articles listing his address, accentuated an aspect that was already a massive problem: security.
The attempts of getting into this property is daily and nightly.
As mentioned by Drake's representative, the house was being broken into every single day and night, only made worse when the house was given a geotag as
Oh my
Drake's
God.
mansion on Google Maps. As a result, Drake had to hire...
I love how they even labeled it as a hotel with him sleeping in the bed.
house
That's
was
funny.
given a geotag as Drake's mansion on Google Maps. As a result, Drake had to hire significant security.
Dude, his security is insane. You ever seen security? Have you
yeah,
ever
I've seen some.
Imagine more.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. You're not getting to this guy. No chance.
With this also being seen in a video by a YouTuber named Walking Lady,
Don't go on the property again, alright?
Don't go what, sorry?
On the property.
and echoed in this comment reading, "I drove past his house looking to take some pictures, but there were these 3 to 4 big dudes standing out front guarding the place. What a life." In one
That's
note,
really not that mind-blowing. I'm sure there were. I'm actually surprised there wasn't that many people from what I've seen so far in the footage. Like, you have to understand, with someone this big like Drake, I'm already like shocked that he chose to live in like a somewhat public area, like the neighborhood. Because I would imagine like he would pick like a more remote place, because that's more like calmful, because people don't drive by there every day. I mean, it's not really like a middle class neighborhood. Like, people don't drive down there every day to go to work, but there are still like some cars driving by. But imagine like ever since he chose to live there and the news came out, the traffic going through that place must be like insane, with all the fanboys just going up there taking pictures. It has to be scary, but I don't see how it's shocking that he hired that much security, because if he didn't, then he hired, even if he like underestimated how many people likely would show up, there would still be enough people and they could probably like find a way to break through. And they go to like the construction site inside. It's just like fucking like be like, oh, we're inside his mansion. Oh.
Toronto mansion was stormed by a knife-wielding woman who allegedly struck a security guard with a pipe. But while they were obviously,
I was just talking about like how the fans are rabid enough to actually do this kind of shit, and someone finally tried to stab someone.
Some security hurdles during construction, there was no denying the house began to look incredible. After laying the slab for the basketball court, Ferris uploaded a video showing the court's entire construction process, which included a Drake-themed scoreboard, Drake-themed on-court branding, and even Drake-themed basketballs. The video received comments such as, "This is the dopest indoor court I have ever seen a celebrity have. Beats Shaq's and Jordan's, but while the basketball court could only be described as awesome, there were other aspects of the property."
I can't get over that. This is the lamest part of the entire house so far that I've seen. It's so lame having a basketball court, because I know for a fact he's gonna spend like one day out of every year walking around and being like, wow, I went from nothing to this. It's so pointless because he's just gonna track up dust. I'm guessing if he shot like a video, like a mansion tour, it would look pretty cool. But I don't think, even no matter how rich I would be, I wouldn't need that room. A room like that big, that would be like nothing. Like surely you could find a better function for this huge part of the house.
Yeah, that were better described as awesomely stupid. For example, Drake spent $700,000 on the world's most expensive bed. Created specifically for Drake's house, the bed named Grand Vivitas weighs 530 kilograms or 1,000...
Life well lived.
168 pounds and took over 600 hours just to make a single one. The bed has a whiskey and champagne bar on the backside of the bed head and a dedicated team of employees who flip and clean the mattress every 3 months. In addition to the bed, Drake had a 4,000-pound bathtub delivered to his ensuite, which was made from one giant piece of marble.
That looks kind of decent. I like that. I'm not gonna lie.
After finishing in the tub, Drake can get dressed in his 2-story walk-in closet, which he since defended as being an important part of the property. The bedroom is where I come to decompress from the world at the end of the night, and where I open my eyes to seize the day. The bed lets you float, the shower lets you escape and gather your thoughts, and the closet makes you want to talk to yourself while getting dressed. On the 5th of October...
that. As much as like I've said that like it's a pretty bad idea, I mean a couple of stuff, I do have to respect the designer he brought on board, because he does have like, so far from what I've seen, like the inside of the house, that wasn't the gay ass basketball court. It does look pretty beautiful, so I have to admit that.
2019, roughly 3 years after construction first began, Drake posted this video to his Instagram showing that the luxury mansion was nearing completion, while providing a further sneak peek into some of its wild features. There were the singing toilets we mentioned earlier.
Oh, I hate this part. So useless. Wait, was that bidet? Like the touchscreen? What the fuck is that? I can't tell shit. That's like some foreign language from like a century ago. What does that even say?
As well as quite possibly the craziest indoor swimming pool you might ever witness. However, it wouldn't be until Drake moved into the home 6 months later that he'd also show off his separate outdoor pool, as apparently the property needed 2 separate pools. On top of this, Drake bought a custom Bosendorfer piano for an estimated $500,000, which was shown for the first time in the Tootsie Slide music video, where Drake would also display a room holding every award he'd ever won. Additionally, Drake built an entire... Why does
he have a random picture
a room holding
of Xi Jinping there on the left? If that is the guy, I'm not sure if it is simple. Why?
Every award he'd ever won. Additionally, Drake built an entire hallway for the sole purpose of displaying basketball jerseys. And considering Drake also has sun-tanning beds in his bathrooms, it's no surprise that even DJ Khaled praised the designer by stating, "Amazing job, I want you to build my next estate. I've been thinking the name of the one we're gonna build together because Embassy is incredible. Champagne Papi inspired me on another level. I have more work to do." Although even if you include Drake's 12-car garage and $10 million car collection, the mansion's often quoted value of $150 million is way over exaggerated. The most expensive home ever listed in Bridle Path was on the other side of Drake Street, which had an asking price of $45 million in 2021. The home was built at the same time as Drake's and has a similar 9 bedrooms, 16 bathrooms, 12-car garage, and an indoor swimming pool. The property failed to sell for $45 million and has since had its price drop to $40 million, so while Drake's house is certainly more luxurious, it probably wouldn't sell for $150 million or even half of that. Despite this, Drake has certainly achieved his goal of building a monumental property, albeit at the cost of his time, money, and even his safety.
That is true. However, I do have to respect it on one side, because if most of you have seen the story of how he was brought up, he did go from like a poor childhood to him wanting to get better, or more rich, I mean, and more successful, and he has gotten to this point where he is massive and he has achieved it, so I have to respect that. And so far, it wasn't really that shocking. The few things I could like name that seemed kind of like pointless was of course the basketball court. And earlier it showed him like an Instagram post of his pool that said it was like about the same size of like an Olympic pool, which why do you even need that? I'm guessing it looks kind of cool from like a bird's eye view, but if you're down there it would be way too big for you to actually swim around. And I really doubt he's fit enough to actually swim back and forth like an actual race like in the Olympics. But apart from that, there was a really nice shots of the inside. Like I appreciate the basketball jersey hall where it was like framed up. That looked pretty cool. And the closet, as much as I made fun of it at the beginning, the videos of it on the inside did look pretty good. I can somewhat respect his philosophy of like how important the bedroom is in his house, where after like being stressed out all day or being really busy, he does need one place dedicated to make sure he can like actually relax. Because if your life is like constantly 24/7 busy, stressed out, being all over the media, you do need some moments of just peace in your day to make sure you don't go insane with like how much stuff there's going on in your life. But I feel like there were way worse mansions for people who are either like richer or somewhere around Drake's level. Because I think one person who has even worse spending habits is Nicolas Cage. Because I'm pretty sure I feel like all these random stories that someone couldn't even make up, like him buying a bunch of like dinosaur fossils for no reason and buying like a castle in some foreign country that he doesn't even go to. But compared to that, the stuff in Drake's mansion does look way better and looks like something you would actually want to keep for yourself, or something you would want it to look like if you had like your own dream home in mind. I'm sure it was also intended to like have a bunch of people come over, which is why he wanted to make it seem like really extravagant. But so far, it didn't really seem that insane. Like I think it was close to it being like pretty beautiful, to it being like a batshit insane. I kind of disappointed because I wanted to hear more stuff about that toilet playing like the Let 'Em Hit, that song playing whenever you take a shit. That sounds disgusting. Why the fuck would you want to listen to that? God.
To encounter with my counterpart to how to burn the block apart. Break it down into sections. Drugs by these selections. Some use pipes, others use